Aloha!
Aloha, talofa.
Welcome to Maoli Talk. I'm Delia,
I'm Fosi.
and we're the Ulimas, and welcome to our fale.
Now we're talking about do our kids have a voice in a Polynesian home?
That's a good question.
So, growing up, did you have a voice in your home?
When you're talking about having a voice, you're talking about like, did my parents let us speak our mind? Is that what we're talking about?
That's
here?
what we're talking about. If you
Yeah.
actually had a say in, in the family when you guys had family discussions or making decisions, did you have a choice or were you just told what to do?
It was a little different because I was raised in a single parent home. My dad died when I was 6, and my mom raised us. She worked a lot, so I felt like I had a lot of say in my life and what I wanted to do. But we didn't have a whole lot of family discussions or councils because my mom had to work a lot. So yes, I felt like I could say I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, but there wasn't a whole bunch of family group decision making going on. So it was a little different for me. What about you, hun?
So for me, it was way different. As a Samoan boy growing up in a Samoan home, no, not at all. We didn't have a voice. We were seen but not heard.
Seen but not heard, and that's kind of traditional. I mean, in a lot of cultures and traditions, but
Absolutely.
in your home, what did that look like, seen and
So-
not heard? What was expected of you?
Well, a lot of times, we were taught to respect our elders.
Yeah,
We're taught to
definitely.
respect. So the elders, of course, definitely they ate first, and then we're like we serve and we provide everything. We take care of all the chores, or they call it the fe'aus, and we didn't have much to say. Like whatever our parents said, whatever I
That's
was
what
told,
went.
that's what went, and that's what happened. And
So you didn't feel like if you're angry or you're upset about something, you couldn't bring that up to your parents?
absolutely not.
Like
Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
You do not
Okay.
say anything, or else you're gonna get the hand coming across your head, or something's gonna be flying to you.
I mean, is that
It's
like,
gonna
are you
be-
serious or are you joking?
No, I'm not joking at all. I'm being very serious, like dead
That's-
serious.
that's
that
pretty
if
rough.
if you were to say something back, whether it's good or bad, you're gonna get cracks. You're gonna get hit by dad or by mom. That you definitely.
But do
didn't
you
have
think
a
that
say.
was typical?
So, I think so. I think a lot of our Samoan homes was
Was
very
like that?
Yeah, it was.
That's
very
pretty
typical.
tough.
It was tough.
So did that influence, so how did you feel about that then? The fact that you didn't have a voice, how did you feel
How
about
I
your...
felt about back then, or how I feel about it now, or
I mean,
you
I
know,
guess, how did that
because
influence...
well, let me say this.
Okay.
Because back then, I didn't know any better. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know if speaking up. All I knew is I couldn't speak up.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the norm. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We just listen to our parents. We don't.
Yeah.
We
But
don't.
how did that impact you as a kid? Did you
um,
just accept it that's how it was, or were you angry? Like, did you internalize stuff?
Not really, because whatever my parents said, that's what that was the word. I didn't really internalize too much.
You didn't analyze it or
No.
overthink it too much, because
Analyze-
that's the
what
way...
is that? I didn't even know what that word was. Then. I don't
Okay,
even know what that
so
is.
how did the way you were raised, with not having a voice, impact how you raise our kids now?
Oh, it's way different now.
Yeah.
It's way different. I know growing up.
Because I feel like we give our kids a voice, but we try to balance between the respect factor
Absolutely.
and giving them, empowering them to speak up.
Yeah, I think it's very important that we do give our kids. Coming up, we didn't have a voice. I didn't have a voice, but when I thought about it, growing up, my dad always, when we used to get lectures after we get,
Yeah.
dirty lickings, but then. My dad, one thing I remember, he said, you're going to have a family one day and you're going to raise them up. And then when I thought about that, I want to raise my kids up differently from the way that I was brought up, not having a voice.
The main thing is that we try to communicate with them. And I remember especially when Sunny was younger, and Makana's only 3 now, so we're really trying to get to that point where we're communicating, and he's only starting to communicate now. But with Sunny, it really was about telling him that it was okay for him to feel the way he was feeling and to
Absolutely.
express himself.
Yes.
So I remember when he would be super mad about something, super sad, and I could see him holding it in, I would tell him it's okay to cry.
Right.
Son, it's okay to cry. And I feel that's really important, especially with boys. And I would tell him we would tell him it's okay to be angry with
It's
us.
okay to be angry. It's
It's
okay
okay.
to just voice your frustration. It's okay to just, to let us know, but be appropriate.
Exactly,
Be
and I think
appropriate
that's
as
the
much as
thing.
possible, because, you don't want to be disrespectful when
Yeah.
you're trying to express your feelings,
Yeah.
because it's totally not appropriate to be inappropriate when you're expressing your feelings.
Well, and
so-
that, I like that, and it's about teaching our kids the respectful and way to express their feelings, but not like talking back or yelling back at us or anything like that. I think the other things that we try to do to instill that ongoing communication and that expressing of feelings and emotions and thoughts is we try to have family council
Yeah.
weekly or regularly, and in the family council we address issues, problems,
Right.
concerns.
Everything. We talk about everything. We talk about a week. We process what happened the week past, and then
Talk about
we talk about
goals.
what we worked on, things that went good, and then we
Things
work
that
it out,
didn't go good
and
as
things
well.
that didn't go good as well, and then we talk about how we're gonna do better than the following week. So
Yeah.
that was family council,
Yeah.
family planning, family calendaring,
Yeah.
and we learned a lot of that stuff because of our faith.
Yeah,
taught
because
us a
of
lot
our
that.
faith, definitely. And there's other things I think we picked up from kind of our line of work with your background in mental health and social work, and what I do as well for a living. I think we try to incorporate those things in our
Yeah,
family,
it's
especially with sorry to interrupt him, but with like bringing our kids in with our like decision making, major family decisions.
Absolutely. That's very important.
Money sometimes,
Very, very important.
where we want to travel. That's important, so they
Yeah.
can feel like they can speak up.
Right, you want to include them in everything that you do. I think it's important. Like even the line of work that I do, when we do crisis plans, I want my kid in there to understand, because I want them to have a voice to say what they want. So that we're not making all the decisions for them.
Yeah.
We want them to have a say, so that they know what they want, because we don't know what they want
Yeah.
without them saying what they want. So
Well, and not only that, but they have to learn that for themselves so they can self-advocate and they can
Absolutely.
be able to articulate, because in the future they're going to be in relationships and they're going to have a family, and if they can't articulate how they feel, what the concerns are, and help their kids and their wife be able to communicate, then it's going to be that much more difficult. I think another thing that I like that we do or we try to do is, and it's hard with our teenagers to let him have a say in his own life decisions. Now, to be clear, we have the final say in family decisions and the way our
Absolutely.
home is run and our values and
Yeah.
kind of our rules. But remember the example of St. Louis and Damien.
Yeah, St. Louis and Damien. So my son, he was given one of his best friends was leaving Damien to go to St. Louis, and then his dad, kind of invited us to come and check it out, and so we did. The long story short, St. Louis gave my son an offer, and so we discussed it as a family to see what was the best option for us, and we kind of left it to our son. We allowed him to exercise
Because
his.
he had been at Damien for several years.
yeah.
And if you don't know, here in Hawaii, St. Louis is one of the number ones. It's always number one or number two every year in football.
Yeah.
And of course, Marcus Mariota came from St. Louis. Tua Tagovailoa
Yep.
came from St. Louis. A lot of great football players. So it would have been a great opportunity for him to develop, we felt, as a football player. But he had
But it
also
didn't
been.
happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So
It didn't happen.
we stayed at Damien.
I love Damien. We love
Damien
Damien.
is great
But
school.
he chose Damien
It is a
because
great
of his
school.
social capital. He felt
Yeah.
comfortable there in that academic environment with the teachers and the coaches.
Yeah, the
And
reporters, yes.
he's going to be a senior next year, but we allowed him that decision. And for some other parents, in maybe
It could be
Polynesian
different,
home,
yeah.
that wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
I've heard stories, of kids that the parents have said, "No, you're gonna go to this school, and that's
Yeah.
final."
And I think that's
You know?
okay too. So the parents, got to make decisions sometimes
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely,
We
I
chose
agree.
to allow our teenage son to make that
make that final
decision for
decision.
himself in that
Yeah.
moment. And we have to
Yeah.
live with that.
I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay.
That's okay. We love the Monarchs, we really do, and it's gonna have a great senior year coming up.
Yes, absolutely. So, out of all of this, it's very important to provide a great balance, in
Yeah.
the family relationships, and allowing everybody to have
Everyone
a say.
to have a voice.
Everyone to
say.
have a say. It's so important, and then
Yeah.
you got to be patient. You got to be a good listener as
Yeah.
well as a good, person
Communicator.
communicator that's giving all the instructions and everything. You got to be able to listen.
And
good as
everyone's
well.
different. I'm really looking forward to see what our 3-year-old, who's just starting to talk now,
Yeah.
because he definitely
This
has a
guy
voice,
is-
a
oh,
very
man.
loud voice.
Just like his mother.
Yes, just like me. But I think we just, we love our kids. We've learned from what we were raised with.
Yeah.
Like you learned respect from mom and dad, even though you felt you didn't have a voice. But here's what's powerful, I think, hun, about your experience is that you made the conscious effort to incorporate the good from what you were raised with the things you absolutely wanted to change. And that's all we can really do at the end of the day is do the best we can for our families right now and keep learning and keep growing.
Just keep,
right?
Just keep learning, keep growing, keep loving. Don't forget to love them. Don't forget to apologize as parents.
If there is one tip we're going to give today, we taught our kids young, or our oldest son, we only have two, but we apologized when we were wrong. We said sorry. We taught him how to, it's very powerful. We taught him how to express when he did something wrong, and we taught him how to ask for forgiveness, to apologize and ask for forgiveness, real forgiveness. And we also do that with him, even at a young age. We would tell him when we were wrong, we'd say, son, we're sorry. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have said this. Please forgive me. What can we do better next time? And we actually try to incorporate that feedback from him and vice versa. And I think that's one of the most powerful things that we've done.
It is.
I
absolutely agree. So please, families, friends, loved ones, please allow your kids to have a voice and
a respectful balance. You guys are in charge in the end, but and like anything else, you raise your family the best way you know how and that you feel is appropriate for them. And speaking of that, this is how the Ulimas run our family, and we're learning all the time. We make mistakes all the time, but we want to hear about you. We want to hear about what you do in your family. Were you raised with a voice in your home?
Yes.
Do you raise your children to have a voice?
Please tell us your story. Your culture, your experiences as a child, as a parent.
As a parent.
How you do things differently now.
We'd love to hear. So subscribe, of course, below. Subscribe, like, leave your comments, share. Check us out on social media.
Yes.
And we will be with you back next week with another episode of Maoli Talk. Until then, malama pono, take care of each other.
Tafasifua, have a good one.
Aloha.
Peace out.
Ovas. We're so ovas. We want ovas couple.
What is the thing? Maybe I should follow that. So.
But we're talking.
We have a very interesting topic tonight. It's something that y'all can relate to.
Y'all?
Yeah, y'all.
What are we, in the South?
Yeah, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
So,
the South Police. What's up? About what?
The voices that you hear in your head. The voices, the psychotic voices that you hear.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.